This story took place when I was just a little girl. I'm an only child, and my parents were planning to go out tonight and spend some quality husband and wife time together. Whenever they usually do that, they would arrange a babysitter and have her take care of me, but that's when I was just a toddler, and now I'm a little grown and starting middle school. They figured I would be fine by myself. Besides, they bribed me with ordering a box of pizza and would take me out to Disney World this summer. I was so excited that I didn't even care about being alone at night. This was a good deal, and all I would have to do was behave until they got back home late at night. When the day finally came, I just got out of school and unloaded my backpack on the living room floor. My parents were in their room getting ready for their date. I didn't have any homework for the day, so I just planned on watching one of my favorite TV shows on Netflix. Before leaving, they asked me what pizza I wanted, and I told them pineapple and ham. They ordered the pizza and told me everything I needed to know before they left. They said to lock the doors and only open it when a pizza delivery guy comes. They will be giving me a checkup call later to see if I'm still okay. They told me they'd be back late at night and to be asleep by the time they get home. I told them yes, I will, and they both left, giving me a kiss on the forehead. I locked the doors and turned on the TV in the living room. About an hour later, watching my show, the doorbell rang. I didn't have a peephole in the door, so I had to peek through the blinds a little to see who it was. There was a Pizza Hut car outside and an old-looking man standing outside my door. I ran up to the front door, unlocked it, and greeted the pizza guy. He was creepy looking and handed me my pizza. He looked around inside the house for a few seconds before saying, "Have a good day, little girl," and walked off to his car. I didn't think anything of that, other than stuffing my face with pizza. So I shut the door and locked it, returning to my show. At that time, my suspicions weren't really keen because thinking about it right now, that was the creepiest thing someone could have ever done, looking inside your house. After finishing my second slice of pizza, I heard something that I really never wanted to hear, being in a home alone. It was the sound of a doorknob trying to open. This wasn't coming from the front door. It was actually coming from the back door where the kitchen was. Luckily, we had blinds all over our house with blackout curtains. I got so scared, I turned off all the lights and tried to move as little as possible. I didn't know what to do in this situation. After a few attempts, I think whoever was outside realized it was locked and immediately gave up. I was still in the living room and trying my best not to make a sound. I turned the TV off and lights, trying to be as quiet as a mouse. After not moving a muscle for 10 minutes straight, I decided to make a move and check the blinds outside once again. But before I could do that, something unbelievable happened. Instead of the back door opening this time, it was coming from the front door, literally 2 feet away from me. I stepped back and tiptoed away from the living room and quietly upstairs. I was holding my breath as if I was swimming underwater. Creeping up the stairs like a cat stalking its prey, I was on survival mode at this point. After hiding under my bed, I didn't hear any more sounds after that. I didn't know if the coast was clear. I stayed hiding under my bed, thinking about how much of a short life this was and that I will never be able to go to Disney World like all the other kids. That whole night of hiding under my bed, nothing else sinister happened. I actually fell asleep and was woken up in the middle of the night from my parents. They had found me under my bed and had gotten back from their date and was worried sick. They were asking me a million questions. Also, I had 20 missed calls from my mom that I never picked up. I told them about someone earlier trying to open the door. They told me whoever it was left a long time ago. They left no trace or evidence whatsoever. My parents called the police and reported the incident. Nothing strange like that happened ever again. I'm now grown and attend college full-time. I don't know who that person was and what their intention was that day, but I'm glad I'm still alive and passing this story on. So I like to play video games in my free time and only get the chance to do so when I put my baby sister to sleep and my mom lets me. My mom was single and seeing some guy tonight since she got off work. I still see my real dad sometimes, usually once per month. I love my real dad since he's always there for me and would do anything for me even though he doesn't live with us anymore. Since my mom was going out tonight, I was going to be alone with my 10-month-old baby sister. She cries a lot when she doesn't get her milk, but other than that, she's pretty easy to troubleshoot. When she left, I immediately tried to put my baby sister to sleep so I could game with the boys all night. It took longer than usual, but I eventually gave her the milk and cradled her up till she fell asleep. I put her in the crib, hoping she wouldn't wake up this entire night so I can enjoy the most out of it until my mom gets back home. I was playing a game called Call of Duty Black Ops 1. It's an old game, but some of our friends and I still love to play zombies on it. It's even scarier playing at night. I had my headphones on and called them on FaceTime. We all got together and started playing. This was the time of my life. However, this wasn't the highlight of my night. Something worse was yet to come. After playing for a few hours, it was headed towards midnight, and I'm surprised the guys were still at it. I told them to hold on for a bit and let's take a snack break. I was getting hungry. I ran to the kitchen and opened up the fridge. There wasn't much options left in the fridge since my mom hadn't been grocery shopping for a while. I don't know how to cook either, so I needed something quick. There was a few meatball mozzarella hot pockets left in the fridge, so I said YOLO. I threw that bad boy in the microwave for 2 minutes and waited. While on my phone and FaceTiming the guys who were doing the same thing and making sandwiches, I saw one thing in the corner of my eye. It seemed like it was coming from the window right behind the sink. It was pitch black outside and I couldn't see anything with the kitchen lights on. I honestly just thought it was a bird or something irrelevant and carried on, cooling off my hot pocket. It was burning hot and I took a bite too early. I reached for a can of Coke on a countertop and noticed something moving again from the same window. This rose my suspicion a bit because I was getting paranoid and it was late at night. I turned off the kitchen lights to get a better view of what was going on outside the window. I took a peek and looked closer until I saw another set of eyes looking straight at me. I fell off the kitchen sink and onto the ground in shock along with my hot pocket. I screamed on the phone and ran to the living room. The guys were still on FaceTime laughing and asking me what happened. I was whispering to them that someone or something was outside my house stalking me. They were all laughing at me and didn't believe a word I said. Then I can hear voices of a conversation coming from outside the house. It was as if a group of people were outside now, and not just one person, but multiple. They were probably talking about me and how I saw them outside. Then, out of nowhere, I hear kicking coming from the front door. It was getting to the point where the door was about to fall off. This was not a dream. I tried to close my eyes and open them back up, but the reality was right in front of my face. I was faced with a life and death situation at this point, and luckily we had a basement. I ran upstairs to grab my baby sister, waking her up in the process. She was cranky and crying on top of that, making the situation even worse. I ran down the basement and closed the door. I hung up the phone and called my real dad. To me, he made me feel safer than calling my mom and the police at the time. I tried to explain the situation to him as quickly as possible, crying at the same time on the phone. He said he was coming to get me right away and told me to stay on the phone. Thankfully, he only lived 10 minutes away. I heard a window breaking this time coming from upstairs. My baby sister was crying loud at this point, and I tried to cover her mouth as much as I could. They had apparently made their way inside and were now roaming above my head, looking for us. I can hear them walking around the house mumbling nonsense. This was going on for quite some time, and I was already trying to write my own will. I was thinking of escaping through the basement door and running to my neighbor for help, but my dad told me no, because at this point he just arrived. He said to come meet him upstairs with my sister. When I got up, I ran up to him and hugged him as he grabbed my sister. He told me no one else is in the house and there's no other cars outside either, just a broken window in the kitchen to where they most likely came through. There was also shoe marks on the outside front door as they were trying to kick the door down but failed. He called my mom and the police about this. The police actually mentioned a similar break-in happened a month ago in a nearby neighborhood, but no one was home at the time. They're still trying to find out who the suspects are and are actively monitoring the area, especially at night. I hope those guys eventually get caught. I'm just glad my stepdad came at the right time and wish he could have actually lived with me again.